the Prose police are coming for you. Bad prose, bad prose.
Alrighty, folks. Now, in bad prose, or excuse me, God, I named the segment Zach. In Prose Police, the whole shtick is that we go through
Police
and
prose.
Yep.
Police prose, exactly. Yeah, we get up people's rears about being properly communicated, not sounding like a fifth grade middle school ass little boy. It's like
someone
neurologically.
He's someone who's been in 5th grade 5 times.
The irony of Zach not being able to get that sentence out is not lost on me.
Mason, I gotta tell you, if my heart was not wearing the armor of my accomplishment in writing my book, that jab would have hurt a lot.
Who's this fledgling author taking a swipe at me? Doesn't he know I wrote The Garden?
I wrote The Garden of Lies, you see. And frankly, it is such a masterwork of literary quality. Yes. I frankly think it has not been adequately contested except by the works of perhaps Tolkien himself. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that Zach deserves to be famous across the world, be a household name. And frankly, the Garden of Lies movie and its subsequent sequels would surpass the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yes.
Now I'm mad. Now I'm straight up furious.
Oh God! After Sir Reginald just got done pumping up my ego to dangerous proportions, let's police these pros. All right, so I want to. The author is here, so I want to ask this question because I was wondering about this the entire time I was doing my prep reading. Why are your chapters only named and not numbered?
Because when I am writing my book, if I name my chapters, it's easier for me to find them and what's in them when I have to refer to them. And I do number them when I'm writing, but I take the numbers out when I'm formatting it.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And what I find interesting about that is I name mine too, but I leave the numbers as well. So, for example, and it's really funny too that you say the thing about letting you know what's in there, because I have the exact same methodology principle behind when I name my chapters. So here are some of my chapter names. What's the occasion? We have hunting to do. I'm bankrupt. Lovers eternal. So I use the exact same principle you do, and it feels all good in my feely place that someone else does that.
Yeah.
I never set out to do. Sorry, I'll shut up and let you say what you were going to say.
Oh no, Mason, you would also be an exception to that for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say I never set out to do that, but it's ended up being that I've done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do it. I just forgot to include you there. Sorry. But yeah, I really like it when people make the name of the chapter directly relevant to the theme or events of that chapter. And I'm used to chapters that are more symbolically named, or have very basic names,
Mm-hmm.
or they're just numbered. And so it just, like I said, it felt good. Okay. Gee. Now that I got that question out of the way.
Yeah.
All right. First paragraph. Erica's woolen cowl hung over her forehead, veiling her pale complexion so she didn't glow when the moon rose. Crouched in a crevasse, bow in hand, she guarded the men at arms as they hurried down the ridge of the canyon. All right. I gotta say, that opening sentence is very well crafted, and I like it because it's subtle, but it's a hook.
Yeah.
It's crystal clear as well.
Mhm.
Drops right into the setting, establishes that straight away, gives us a hint almost immediately at what the character looks like. I love that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of the actual way the sentence is structured, we used 1 comma that entire time, and it's perfectly placed. Like, that is an immaculately crafted sentence. So I like it.
Thank you.
Spot on.
Okay, so now we have crouched in a crevasse, bow in hand. She guarded the men at arms as they hurried down the ridge. And those 2 sentences give us an entire paragraph, which is, I like it when writers do stuff like that well, when it's done well.
Yeah.
Caveat. But this next sentence is also pretty well crafted. It has a good flow, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but because of the way this sentence is structured with the 2 commas, and now we've gone from a setting description to a verb description, I feel like the pace of the story sped up, and it was a very well paced speeding up. You guys know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I also love that phrasing too, just the crouched in a crevasse. I like the way that rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it does roll off the tongue. Exactly, Mason. Yeah, I agree. And the bow in hand, that was the exact right way to articulate that she had her weapon ready. Like, there's 100 other ways you could phrase it or more, but bow in hand is the exact way it should be phrased for the setting that we've already established.
And it goes ahead and sets the tone for what we're in for.
Yeah, if she's got a bow in hand, something's about to go down.
Right.
She's got to be ready for the action.
Ooh, actually, I take that back though. I think, I think what I would have said instead, bow at the ready.
Yeah, that would have been good too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that just comes down to a voice difference, but if I was saying it, that's what I would have said.
Yeah.
Because it sounds just a little bit more intense. Okay. Then we have, she guarded the men at arms as they hurried down the ridge of the canyon. Okay, plain description of action there. Articulated well. Moving on. All right, dialogue. By the might of my father's gods, keep them safe, she prayed as they dashed into the shadows. They weren't just soldiers, they were the men she'd sparred with and who taught her what she knew concerning warfare. Men she admired, men whose characters she respected. Powerful men. She'd be joining them for the first time in action against the opponent. A chill of excitement rushed through her, but a knot formed in her stomach when she caught wind of their foe.
I am intrigued.
It was a pretty.
That
good...
sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I actually am
Yeah.
intrigued by that.
No, I knew you did. I knew you were sincere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good paragraph, but there are some things that I want to point out that I think maybe could have been a little bit better in this paragraph. So let's dig in. Okay,
Mhm.
so the first line is good. By the might of my father's gods, comma, keep them safe. That's good. Then she prayed as they dashed into the shadows. I'm fine there. They weren't just soldiers, they were the men she'd sparred with and who taught her what she knew concerning warfare. Okay, that's the first section where I think I would have tightened it up a little bit. They were the men she'd sparred with and who taught her, yeah, this part specifically, who taught her what she knew concerning warfare. That could be said in much fewer words. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if I'd said that, I think I would have said, who taught her what she knew concerning warfare?
Mhm.
I would probably have said something like, who taught her the art of war,
Mhm.
because we've moved on to an action paragraph.
Mhm.
So that more succinct language would have been snappier,
Mhm.
and we would have kept the action flow going.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I agree with that actually.
Yeah. I do see though that there was I mean, there is good character development here.
Yes. Yeah.
Also a hint of culture too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point, Mason. There is perhaps a little bit more world. Okay, so Mason, I want a clarification on your point, if you don't mind. Do you think that the sentence needed to be as long as it is to convey that culture, or are you saying the sentence has it in there regardless of the change I suggested?
To be honest, I was more talking about the dialogue with the by the might of my father's gods.
Oh, okay.
Because we
Yeah.
we get the idea there that they live in a culture that's got more than one god and
Right.
presumably gods that will help them in warfare. So
Yeah, that is a good point, separate from the sentence down the line that I was digging into. Yeah. The subtle drop of world building, but that it's a very distinct flavor. So you instantly start to anticipate certain things about the world. Yeah, that's a very good point, Mason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have just made that one part a little bit more succinct so it flowed better. Then we go down men whose characters she respected, powerful men. She'd be joining them for the first time in action against the opponent. I probably would have just, let's see, for the first time. I probably would have dropped the word action in. I would have probably dropped, she'd be joining them for the first time in action against. First time.
I probably personally would have said something like tonight she would be joining them. It was the first time she will have seen action.
Yeah, that would have been more. That would have been a little snappier. There was a specific way I was thinking I would phrase it, though, and it's just on the tip of my tongue. She'd be joining them for the first time in action against the opponent. It's a deletion. Yeah.
Maybe just forget against the opponent and just action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Yes. Yes, that is what. Yeah, pretty close to what I'm. So I'm just going to take it. Move on.
I'll have you edit my next one.
I can
You
try.
don't want that. You don't want that. Zach doesn't pull punches.
If
ever.
my English teacher could see me now.
Oh man. But Great that you don't pull punches.
Baron, these skura smell worse than boar's hair in a sty, she uttered. Her brother slid into the cranny alongside her. His warm breath against her ear reinforced her confidence, and a smile crossed her face. Okay, before I say some of my thoughts on that section, anyone?
Yeah, actually, can I ask? Was Baron a purposeful reference to Lord of the Rings or not?
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Did I mishear the name? The Baron?
Baron.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that was a purposeful reference to Lord of the Rings or not, because there's Baron and Luthien.
Oh no, I just pulled that name out of a hat.
Okay.
Okay.
I just see Lord of the Rings everywhere.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Okay, her brother
No.
slid into the cranny alongside her.
Oh.
Okay, so one thing right there, we could have made that period alongside her period. We could have made that a comma because the idea is continued in the next sentence. So, comma, his warm breath against her ear reinforced her confidence, comma, and a smile crossed her face. That could have been one long complex sentence. That would have been fine. The second thing is, this one struck me as being a little bit off. His warm breath against her ear reinforced her confidence. I was like,
yeah,
what?
Because oh man, I'm pretty sure you weren't trying to do this, but it seemed like there was a slight, I guess you could call it, sensuality to that.
Yes.
That was unintended.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I was like, okay, is this gonna be a Lannister situation? I mean, I know that, that kind of thing did happen back in medieval times. So, I mean, are we going for full authentic here?
Right. Yeah.
What's going on?
I read that shit and I was like, oh,
it's like,
dear.
Yeah.
I was very glad as I continue reading when I realized that was just like a one-off thing.
Yeah.
And therefore might just be up to my own gutter mind.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, this is gonna be like Tolkien and Children of Hurin situation. Because
Okay. So anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. And a smile.
You guys just have impure minds, because I just wouldn't have even gone there in my head.
Well, I mean, but the way it was phrased,
my mind is definitely in the sewer, 100%. I'm trying to elevate. It's hard to crawl out of what made you.
Oh. Okay. So.
Okay. And then he rested a hand on her shoulder and pointed to.
What?
Caitlin?
Yeah.
Caitlin, am I still there?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, my screen just went.
We can still see your screen.
You can still see me? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Okay, that's my bad. New computer, I forgot to adjust the go to sleep settings. My computer was just about to go to sleep automatically.
Okay.
My bad, guys.
It's okay.
Okay. Oh, I was like, wait, what the?
What's happening?
I don't know what's going on.
I'm taking your computer, Zach. I'm claiming it for my own.
Because he's in the dark. I get it.
Yeah. Zach's like,
Jokes.
I need to get a little jester hat with some bells and perhaps a feather or two. Oh God, I need that cap.
yes, we're gonna have to get you one.
Or a dunce cap.
There's also plans for a dunce cap. It's funny because me and Kaylin,
Yes.
except I'm not gonna write dunce on mine. I'm gonna
No.
I'm gonna make the cap one color and get felt lettering of another color, and it's gonna say "fucking moron."
Not sure that would have been acceptable in schools, Zach.
Yeah. Even though
I mean, I say that, but they were allowed to hit you, so.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Good times.
We should get back to policing anyway.
Yeah.
We digress.
Yeah. This has definitely been so far 50% comedy when it should be about 20%.
We have a tendency to go off the rails.
Off the rails is where I go.
Yes.
On a crazy train.
Mm-hmm. We signed up for this, so we're here for it.
Yep, pretty much. Okay. And we get this dialogue. Look, there's one across the way. See it? From her brother.
Mm-hmm.
The bright of the setting sun blinded her, but for the silhouette of an olive tree, and the lone skura that perched on its limb. The beast, tall as a man, unfolded a featherless wing twice the size of its height. When it did, it blocked out the sun, allowing her to see its features. She shrank at its size and the ugliness of its body. Owl eyes, a squat nose, and fangs that protruded from its human mouth. Thoughts on that, guys?
Wow.
Well,
I really like that. As a blind reader, whenever an author can give a description that's that crystal clear, and Zach will know this because I'm always telling him, "Oh, your fight scenes are so clear." Whenever someone can give me a description that can make me picture something that clearly, I'm always on board.
Yeah, because I also like how it establishes aesthetic, because you can see, the backlighting of the sun and the silhouetting, and you can imagine the colors without there having to be a lot of description of what those things are. So it's very jam-packed with description, but without being too verbose
or boring.
It's straight up creepy too, as well. Like, if you went outside now and saw that creature in a tree, it would piss your pants.
Yeah.
Valdus wants one as a pet.
Valdus wants one as a pet.
Gross. Okay. So the paragraph is good in terms of the writing. No argument there. There is some stuff about the punctuation I would nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
So we get this first sentence. The bright of the sun blinded her, but for the silhouette of an olive tree and the lone skura that perched on its limb. Now, here's where we're going. Hold on tight with me.
Mm-hmm.
Cut that period. Make it a comma.
Mm-hmm.
And the next sentence, the beast, tall as a man, and I don't like what are those hyphens called?
They're called M dashes.
M dashes. I don't like those M dashes. I think they were completely unnecessary. So we take out that period, make it a comma. The beast, tall as a man. We could either do 2 commas there or 1, depends on how you want the idea to be understood. And then we have unfolded a featherless wing twice the size of its height. First period. That would be a master crafted, flowing long sentence.
Yeah.
That would be straight up Shelley-esque.
It would be
Twice the size of its height. That's
Oh, yeah.
just showing off.
Although you find that to be fair though, you do usually find big wing ratios like that on the bigger birds, because when you start getting heavy, you need that much wingspan to actually keep you aloft. And so, like, if a humanoid figure had wings, at a minimum, they would need to be twice that person's height per wing. Which is that's roughly the principle I used when I was creating my avian shifters.
Yeah. Yes, because even though we write in fantastical realms around here, we keep in mind that there is some law of physics.
Right. Well, actually, in my world, the laws of physics. Well, I'm going to shut my whore mouth.
You had a magical fight 2 chapters ago.
I did, Mason. That's exactly what happened.
Physics.
Okay. All right. They're horrid. How could anyone live around them? She asked, sinking further onto her knees and staring at the creature. Baron had described them to her at home, in the comfort of the grand hall over a chalice of wine. How much more daunting they were in the flesh. Okay. Now, for the most part, I don't have much to say about this paragraph except for the last sentence, which I'll get into quickly. But yeah, overall, good continuing of language. The voice is consistent, and I don't really have anything else to say about the paragraph until we get to the last sentence. How much more daunting they were in the flesh. I would have and then that's one long sentence, uninterrupted until we get to the exclamation mark. So I understand the choice of the exclamation mark, but I think if I was writing this and I was cultivating this voice of the narrator that's been built up so far, I would have used a period at the end of that, and there would have been a comma, how much more daunting they were in the flesh. I would have put a comma right after we're. So how much more daunting they were, comma, in the flesh, period. And that would have been a nice little elevation of the medieval-esque, dark, gritty voice, which is but gritty but poetic, so that's clear. You can be both. So
you just want the dramatic pause in the sentence.
Yeah.
How
Exactly.
much more?
It would have given us
how much more daunting they were in the flesh.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say, because it places emphasis.
Leave it to the narrator.
On the fact. Because it places more emphasis on the in the flesh and sets up that, hey, I call it the "we're not in Kansas anymore" tone. Things have gotten a lot more serious.
That's good. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yup.
Sorry, Dorothy.
This is the slum. Bad things happen here.
You'd be like, is this secretly Toto's voice?
Or you die.
I hope so.
Yes, this is secretly Toto's voice.
Dorothy, we appear to have crushed a witch.
Uh-oh.
Those gray slippers are beautiful. That was a colorblind. This joke.
Or a bad bitch.
I thought so.
And I get to make that joke because I'm color deficit. And what
I give you permission as a visually impaired person. You can make that joke.
I'm visually impaired. Just like if the scale goes from 1 to 1,000, Mason is at 1,000. I'm at like 2.
Let's continue.
Yes.
Okay, so we're almost to we have one line and of dialogue, and then a following paragraph, and then we're done with the first page, and we'll call it there.
Yeah.
It's not as though Lord Garyon has a choice. She took her eyes off the Skura to study Baron. Tell me, is it true this wizard bonded with the Emperor of Casademia to gain power, to control these creatures? Okay, now I just narrated that with a pause, but there was no comma. I would have put the comma where I put that pause. Other than that, I think I'd pretty much leave that alone as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And did I get the pronunciation right, by the way? Casademia?
Cadamia, yeah.
Casademia?
Yeah.
Casademia. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mason, Kate, anything?
I mean, I'm not sure how I would change it, but it maybe feels just a little bit exposition-y to me.
Just a slight, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I understand that you're trying to get a lot of detail in a short amount of time to go ahead and try and set up the world building. Well, I think
I'm sorry, go. I wanted you to finish, Kate. Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead.
Okay. I think to fix what Mason is saying, you could keep the exact same information, but change the phrasing a little bit. So, true with this wizard, is it true this wizard bonded with the Emperor of Casademia to gain power to control these creatures? It's all in those last 7 words. So, we leave it alone up until Emperor of Casademia. Then, instead of to gain power to control these creatures, you could summarize that to bonded with Casademia to gain power to control these creatures. You know what I would have said? You could have been poetic and controlled, and it would have meant the exact same thing. Caitlin, I'm the king of being succinct.
Yeah.
And with the Emperor of Casademia to wield these creatures.
Yeah, I like that.
Boom.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good at
Would fit perfectly with like the medievally past setting too.
Yeah.
And what I think is so elegant about that is we to gain power to control, we just summarize all of that to wield. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So that would be the change I would have made, and it would have made that so much snappier, more poetic, reinforced voice, all the good things. So yeah,
definitely.
I'm interested to know. Oh, sorry, Zach.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm interested to know, now that we've gone through that little section, have you spotted anything that you think that you have any thoughts on, Diana?
Oh yeah, I pretty much agree with you. It's nice to have other views on it, and true, a lot of the sentences could have been condensed to make it a little snappier, as you call it. But thank you for your expertise and your critique.
Oh, don't worry. I'm the king of wandering sentences. Zach will definitely tell you that.
Hey,
I don't know. I mean, with putting a comma after they were grammatically, I don't see, where it would be correct.
ooh,
aside
okay.
from
So
the
hang on.
three.
Where was that?
Well, okay. She's talking about how much more daunting they
Daunting.
were in the flesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I
it
don't
would
see-
have been because you could have put in the flesh how much more daunting they were. It would swap around.
Yeah. You did that.
Well, okay, and see, okay.
But that
You
would be
might
like
not
if you're
like,
going for very old voice.
Well, and see here, this is where I've fallen a little bit into the trap of bias and personal opinion influencing my
Mhm.
critique. So, how much more daunting they were, comma, in the flesh. That's how I would have said that, and it might technically be grammatically improper, but it is one of those things where everyone would know what you were saying, and it's still well structured enough to where it can pass as not being I don't know how to write, just that's the voice, and that voice more closely aligns with the voices in books I like. So that might be a bias thing on my part.
Okay.
I would say so, because I'm not going to lie. I don't think I would have done the comma there either. But I think it is just a personal taste thing.
I
Okay.
might put like 3 dots, 3 dashes.
An ellipsis would be
An
perfect.
Yes.
I like the way you think. I like that. Caitlin, you can tell her all about why I like that.
Yeah. Well, because the ellipsis is the Swiss Army knife of punctuation.
That's exactly right, Caitlin. Come on. So, the book is the sword of Chonisi, right? Diane?
Yeah. Well, I don't believe I put the on the cover.
Okay.
I'll have to double check.
I was just
I
wondering because right here in my document it says sort of.
Okay.
I'm gonna scroll up here and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Sword
it
of
just
Chonisi,
says sort of
yeah.
Chonisi. Yep. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, the book is Sword of Chonisi by D.L. Gardner.
Yep.
That's funny. I wrote the Garden Saga. D.L. Gardner. Okay.
Well done, Zach. That has the same word in both sentences.
Wait, what, Mason?
I said, well done. It has the same word in both sentences. Well spotted.
Okay, look, you little smart ass.
You love me.
I do. It's almost disgusting how fast I decided I like you.
I didn't really give you much choice. I just scrappy dude my way into your life.
Everyone hated that little bastard.
Oh my
Oh God,
god.
that's a funny comparison. All
Yeah.
right, as I've been trying to say,
Yes.
this has been Prose Police.
Bad prose, what you gonna do when the prose police are coming for you? Bad prose,